house myself when I screw up the top.
Everyone gets everything.
Are you still recording?
Yes, she's recording. Good.
Hey Todd, we're gonna get the cow meeting going.
We got the cow meeting?
Yes, we got another comment.
Number two.
Cow meeting before.
We did, number two. We did. We're
Yes, we got another
slamming it tonight.
It's much easier to get everybody here doing it the same night than come another
I put
night.
my chair away. We need agendas.
All right, cow meeting.
We lost Chad.
We have to do thing again or no?
No, I think- All right, here we go. So approval of the agenda.
We're not doing pledge.
We won't do the pledge, no. We're already a minute behind. All right. Approval of the agenda. The agenda tonight says skate park pump track followed by 2024-25 budget allocations.
There's nothing else to add, I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Public comment, speaking to either skate park pump track or the budget.
Okay, 105.6 West Temperance. I was at the township meeting, and I can understand Chaz being upset. But again, like Lamar said, everything you guys do needs to be, you have your 5-year plan, everybody can see it, it's on the township's website to know what Manning Smith has proposed for each and every park for the next 5 years. The bottom line is that all of this has to be methodical and not piecemeal. That's what's wrong with the township. We piecemeal, we chopped a hole, put up a school, chopped a hole, put another school over there, trying to meet everybody's demands. And so it's gotta be done methodically with a future as the vision, not the needs and the wants for right now. Keep up the good work. You guys have not got an easy job.
Thank you,
Thank
Dale.
you.
Anybody else? Not at the moment? Okay. All right, so we're back to skate park pump track. I say let's give them three options and let them design and see what they can come up with for those 3 areas. We know that Parmalee's gonna be out. The township will not support Parmalee, so there's no point in us saying design one for Parmalee because the township will not approve it.
The township of 2024. Because Paul's out and it could be a whole new
It
board
could
that
be a whole
says,
new
yeah,
board,
let's
but right
revamp
now,
that
the
entire
board
park.
is-
Oh, yeah,
saying no.
everybody's up for election.
Well, you have, because Rick Steiner and Craig Montre have both said they're running for supervisor, and both of them already said they're not gonna support it. So if one of them gets supervisor,
Right.
But
they're,
somebody else could always run and
Right.
give
Yeah.
their amount of a supervisor, so.
My whole, from the get-go is, Parmalee's the condition it is and has the reputation it does because of what's there. It was a shit skate park.
Yep.
It was a decrepit concession building that was vandalized.
Just too old.
Guess what? We removed it all. Why don't we put something nice in that could actually revitalize that entire park? It fits, we know it does, it doesn't interfere with anything else, and it goes right in hand with disc golf as well. Like it would be ideal if you want to revitalize and revamp and have a third nice park and not just focus on White and Carr and Samaria.
you guys can have it as your third option, but
Like, yeah, why
you
don't we-
care over there, you know we're not gonna
Right.
approve it.
I know this current board, but we're not looking to have it built this summer either.
And regardless, we shouldn't decide something based on what we think somebody's gonna vote on.
Right.
It needs to be
Because,
based on what we
okay, if
think
we
is gonna
present
be
them in
right for the
July and it
parks.
gets denied, then the next board can present it
So-
next February and it's an entirely new board.
All
With a
right,
vision.
so name your 3 parks that you'd like to have.
Parmalee as a revamp. I think it'd be real quick for ASA to look at the size of this zone and what was developed or planned as laid out for the pickleball and the tennis court and see if this spot is even big enough for a zone. to
Yeah,
work.
I'm not sure it is, actually.
If, then he can tell us, nope, that's
But,
off,
yeah.
but why not have him consider it? Because, like Todd had brought up, if it is a viable spot, have him to plan it, and we can have Manning
Move it
Smith
over to-
move it to Parmalee.
Yeah.
Which isn't a terrible idea.
No, not at all, I like that idea.
Plenty of parking?
I have a thought on a park as Samaria, which I know nobody likes, but. the
I think
baseball-
White Park,
There's not enough
take it off
parking
the
there
table.
for the Diamonds there to have a game. Barely enough parking for practices. We don't have enough parking for the hall that we rent out there because we can't expand the parking lot any closer to the outfield because kids are already hitting it to the parking lot we have now. It's the smallest diamond in the township for footage. I think we could take the outfield fence, move it to Parmalee Park, Also, the slide safe that's there, move that to Parmley Park. Bedford Select, I'm pretty sure paid for both. I'm not 100% sure about the outfield fence, but I know they paid for all the slide safe that's there. And possibly move that backstop somewhere and create another diamond. I don't know where.
I think there's room.
Potentially over by the cemetery at Anstead. That's a possibility. There's room there. But it would open up multiple things in the sense of we could finally expand the parking to rent the hall out to the capacity it really should be at, because it's bigger than this place. It's just as nice, if not nicer, because it hasn't been used as much over the years. It just doesn't get rented out much because there's no parking. And if we were to do the skate park and pump track there, it would go in line with, I've been talking with a few people about potentially doing a mountain bike course through the woods, which wouldn't cost much, if anything at all, in terms of the township, other than mostly signage
And
to, for liability purposes.
Snapping on the trail.
Well, there are a lot of people that I've talked to that would volunteer their time and equipment to come out and help put in something as simple as a mountain bike course that I don't believe would necessarily need a large amount, if any, engineering at all for something of that nature. But I think it would kind of all three go together in something like that, and could make it a whole kind of wheeled sports park essentially, and potentially bring people to a park that just doesn't get used. I mean, it really doesn't. So other than Bedford Select, who now moving forward is only going to be able to use it as a practice field, majorly because of the parking, and then even the size, which they can move younger kids there to play. But I believe I think their 11 or 12U team can't play there. It just they hit the ball too far. So, and it's not just the parking lot they're hitting the playground. I know the one house I see has put up, extended their fence to 12 or 16 feet tall in the outfield at this point in time. So,
All right, so you're thinking Samaria. Where else would you want them to do a survey? You've got one more to put.
Parmley. The only problem with Parmley is there's not enough room for a pump track and a skate park without removing the diamond, and that's a big field there. I mean, it really
at
is.
which one?
Parmley.
Probably.
And for a baseball diamond, it's a really big diamond. Or not the diamond, the field.
The field, yeah.
Yeah. Here possibly, with moving the pickleball tennis courts to Parmley Park. I mean, it's not
Well, and if we.
a terrible option. I think the pickleball
Park.
courts would be better economically for the downtown Temperance area than a skate park would be. So,
Okay. Do you have
My
a
only
third?
fall on some areas, that's
That's-
just adding in, like I said, it is a long-term
yeah, honestly.
plan
this
this
is-
out, future outlook, it's
It's gonna
just,
be
you're
a
adding
motion,
in, alright, we want this built, but now we also have to do parking lot, we have to do,
Yeah.
move it, basically build a new field, wherever we decide to move that to,
Well, it doesn't have to
Keep
go
adding
field,
to it.
but the outfield fence moving and the slide safe moving isn't a major thing.
No,
maintenance
it's-
can move the slide safe.
yeah, but it's
Um,
structuring and developing and picking a
but-
new spot
but-
for a field,
yeah,
and grading, and there's a lot involved.
Well, that stuff would just be going to the field that's already existing at Parmley. It would be if we wanted to move the backstop somewhere. I can't think of what kind of shape that backstop's in.
I'd have to see it. I'm
Or
sure
it could even be moved to one that needs to be replaced, because there's probably a backstop or two at some park somewhere. Is there one at White Park that just doesn't look that great anymore? It's falling apart.
Backstop's decent at Samaria.
Yeah.
It's not in need of immediate repair, but it's not immaculate either.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think any of them are immaculate. They're all
No.
they're all probably at
And at
least
that
30
point,
years
for
or
the
more
cost of fencing
old.
and doing it, would it be worth tearing out and moving it, or just
Right.
approving and install the new? Moving the
Yeah.
Band-Aid from one part to another?
Yeah.
Or?
I think the outfield fence could be moved. I mean, that's in really good shape.
Yeah, that
That's
is.
within, I think, 10 years. But the backstop, yeah, I mean, you can always just junk it with the rest of the fencing that we had to get rid of.
Well, my thought originally on this was possibly white. It would have to be the field at the corner of Consier and
Number one.
Douglas, but after further researching it, you're on
Bedrock.
bedrock right there. And we've had trouble with the basketball court, and we had trouble with the tennis courts there being on bedrock. There's no place for the water to go. They're falling apart, so
Well, things like
I
that
would
just
not want
mean
to
you
put
need
a
to elevate.
concrete skate park on bedrock. I just wouldn't.
And I've been against that
Yeah.
idea from
Even
day
if you
one.
were to try to build a.
Not only are you removing
a
one,
concrete
but
skate
you're,
park, if there's anything that goes into the ground at all,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to
not.
raise it up however deep you wanna make it go.
right.
And then that's gonna affect the water for the rest of the
And
field.
besides, like White Park is I mean, that's like
You're affecting
the baseball
field-
park.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
And you're affecting
100%.
field 3. It's,
Yeah, you're not just-
you put old enough people on that, you're losing outfield,
You're-
like,
you're
Yeah.
taking
you hit
the
home
whole
runs into a skate park.
Yeah.
You're taking two
Yeah.
diamonds away.
Yeah.
essentially,
Basically,
because
yeah.
It's,
You're not gonna be able to.
And then you're always gonna struggle with parking there.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why White Park is not.
So I think
The only
White Park
thing
would
at
be
White
out.
Park that would be, where it would fit without interfering anything, would be the south or the west side of the current tennis courts. In which you're probably moving trees out, you're butting right up
Yeah,
against the
move
trail
trees
that goes
out.
through there, you're taking all
Yep.
the trees out and opening all of it up, which to everybody who's worried about it at Parm Lake because of vandalism,
Stick it in the back dark
you're,
corner.
well, you're opening all that up with trees, you're putting it against the property lines of residences back there by the walking trail, and you're literally parking then is still,
Yeah.
you're not
So
doing
that's
anything
parking.
for parking. That would be the only spot in White without interfering with fields or anything.
Yeah, I really just the parking. I mean, I don't think White Park's gonna be an option.
And neither do I.
Parking is.
All right, so we've got Parma Lake for one choice.
Which,
would
like I said,
say-
if it's not approved by this current board, at least what we're spending in the money and having site plan, something is there for future boards to develop and somebody to consider.
Yeah.
And maybe the current township looks at and we present, hey, these are why these are the options, this is where it's at, and maybe they actually come to that realization. It doesn't have to be a, well, one and done, like, oh, that's it. This
I would
is
say
a long-term
Anstead.
outlook.
Back where that
Anstead's an
field
option,
is.
it's just kinda like
It's gonna
Samaria.
be more expensive.
You
because-
ground up, you're developing a whole new park.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're putting in a parking lot, you're putting in
Yep.
Samaria
everything.
needs a parking lot, regardless. I mean, it needs it.
I
At the end of the
agree.
day, it needs it. So, even if
And
there's
this
no
all comes
skate park
down to,
going there,
again,
if we could find a way to get a bigger parking lot there.
Long-term upkeep of what we
That's-
even currently have. Because not only, I mean, especially with a skate park pump track this size project, even with this pickleball tennis courts project, putting this stuff in, we put, so basically the 174 grand left in the side fund that we did have built up.
Oh, this is all gonna be.
Moving
That's-
forward, there has to be a millage for maintenance, strictly maintenance, just to maintain what we currently have without putting
Maintain
anything
and
in.
replace
Right.
equipment.
These are $150,000 playscapes, we have 3 of them, White Park, Car Park, Samaria.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
that
you
doesn't
go.
count putting them in.
It doesn't count putting them in, that's
together.
just the equipment from
Yeah.
Miracle. We have 2 shelters, we have, or multiple shelters, we have 2 of these rental halls, we have I mean, we could put 30 grand in every baseball field. It could be no problem updating those, like, anything beyond for these types of major projects, unfortunately, if the township is so against it, then the parks we have currently are the parks they're gonna be.
Yep.
It is what it is, kind of a thing. We're setting the groundwork for, through this next election and new boards and new everybody, they can decide from there. That's all this is. We're not putting this stuff in
When are
this
they,
summer.
have you talked with the company, the engineering company, when are they gonna come out here to look
ASA?
at the sites? Have they given a date?
That's pretty much our next step, is talking with ASA. and
ASA wants us to, okay, let me get out what I was gonna talk to.
They'll get an initial satellite look at areas we're thinking and tell us if it's even before they grind.
Before
I mean,
they
can-
come
yeah,
out.
that's why I say, hey, have them check this. Let's not push this through just yet.
We have to
See if this is a
pay
viable
for
spot.
this
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's not, okay, then yeah, hey, move forward with these. I like the plans, I like everything Mannequin Smith did. Let's not push one more potential
Yeah,
spot
yeah, no,
out until we
100%.
know for sure.
That's it? No.
No, they did a lot. They actually, I met with the guy, well, I didn't meet with them, I saw the gentleman from Mannequin Smith doing all the surveying and all the topographic mapping.
Yep.
I talked to them for a while, and I mean, it was all over the place out there, hitting different
Yeah.
points for their project all over the park.
No, they're doing it legit. It's-
Yeah.
I just don't wanna completely limit ourselves right off the get-go, like, let's at least,
Right.
they can take a quick satellite view of,
Yeah,
hey, this is
yeah,
the area
see
we're
size.
considering.
Look
They
at the
want
Is this
size.
even
more.
viable?
Yeah.
They
No,
want
it's
more
not,
than a
okay.
satellite. They want us to come up with, are you ready for this? A topography map, a utility map, and a geotech report. All 3 of those. of which we have none for any of the parks, except the little bit that you just did at Samaria. But even though that's topo, that's it.
Car.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of topographical mapping of our parks from all the different
I already
projects.
went to the planning commission, there's nothing. They got
Go to
nothing.
Mandy Smith.
I did, she said.
They should have
"Oh, we
it."
don't have it. She says, no.
Well, what
you-
have they done for all the
we would've
projects
given
they've done
that
over the
to
years?
the township should have it. I said, I already checked, they don't have it. Or if they have it, they're not sharing.
Well, it may not
I
be in the
would've
planning
asked them.
commission, that may be somewhere else.
You'd think it would be in planning. Where else is it gonna be, building?
They don't
Not a
hold records,
building.
planning doesn't hold
Did
records.
we get our 3 potential spots? Cause I was
Not
gonna
yet,
throw in
no.
a,
No, throw, what do you
Okay,
got?
go for
We're
it.
open to,
We're
this is
still,
where
we're still
we're discussing.
talking.
Yeah,
I
well-
said, now my other one that you
know.
missed out on, I was saying that maybe we should partner with the,
Oh, Vienna.
Vienna Park. And maybe we should partner with the, you know, county.
It's not a terrible
money
idea.
I think
I mean, if they kick in
It's
some
not.
money and we
That's
get
where
a
I play travel ball.
grant, this could happen, you know, within 2 years instead of 4 years time.
I'm curious where you're thinking though on that park.
I would have to talk to
Wherever they'd want
I
to do
don't
it.
know. Because they got
Because with the-
baseball fields out
the
there
two
too, we don't wanna touch
fields-
those.
Which their outfields basically run to the back perimeter edge where disc golf is, which wraps all the way around the other front fields against the road. That's, I don't know
I have a picture somewhere,
where you're thinking.
probably not gonna find it.
so
And if
I,
township would even go for that when it's land we don't own,
Probably
like you're
not.
basically spending money to put something in.
Where do you
But
think
That's
that's?
what
I don't think
where do you
that's-
What do you think?
I think,
Yeah, where do you
I
think?
obviously
Yeah,
voted
well-
no originally because
Right.
I think this is just disproportionate, you know, financially, and I think the original skate park wasn't necessarily a gem that needs to be replaced one for one. We had problems with, you know, lots of issues that, why would we necessarily want to invite that? And of course, and then the cost and talks of the millage to me is just a deal breaker that, like, you know, it's a part of the past and doesn't need to be a part of the future. And if kids egg my house, I'll deal with it, you know. But I think looking just, you know, taking Parmalee and then White Park and Carr Park, if there was a way to create a trail, maybe, you know, I don't know if you call it a mountain bike trail or whatever, if there was some way to create a way to get across town for kids on their bikes, a safe option that took, you know, a chunk out of the parks with a trail, and then maybe I've been scoping it, and certainly you'd need to do something maybe with Conseer Road, with the stretch of Conseer in between Secor and White Park. But I think you could get all the way from Carr Park to, or like Lewis Road more so, all the way to Parmalee and create a safe corridor for kids or adults or whoever to ride their bikes or walk, you know, a trail across town that would allow bicycling children theoretically to make their way across town safely, which if you remember when they came to us years ago with a pump track, and I'm sure those kids have graduated by now,
Yep.
it was like, hey, our kids are riding their bikes in the streets and there's no sidewalks and they're getting hit with rear view mirrors and things and it's dangerous. And if we could create, you know, a safe bike corridor that allows kids to get to the parks, that is different than a skate park pump track, but it's a comparable replacement that allows that community to use their wheeled devices, get to our parks, enjoy our parks, whether they enjoy them or they just sit around a picnic table and hang out with their friends or whatever. They can get there, they can move themselves across, they can get there, and I think it would be way cheaper and feasible to accommodate that.
Love your head.
You don't think that, you think it would cost more?
You're talking an $800,000 pump track. You're talking multi-millions in developing, zoning, planning, road commission.
There's already a bike route. I mean, Conseer
Aaron.
is the bike
There's a
route.
bike
I
route, but
love
like
your
that.
head and where it's at, because that was, I thought,
And
when
we
Paul
need-
Peroni was
and
initially
those are all
elected as supervisor,
ditches.
that was
There's
an
ditches
initial
on
plan.
both sides, yeah.
That was actually a, like, optional, like, township development, they had looked into
Well, I
this,
believe
like,
it's still in the county master plan.
it might still
It is
be
still
in
in
the
the
master
county
plan.
master
I mean, you think
Like,
it's that much money, $1 million to create something across town
you're
for kids to ride their
redesigning
bikes?
and repaving roads to add a bike lane.
Well, I think we could use our parks. If you, I mean, Indian Creek Park, White Park,
Well, that was the
Parmalee
whole
Park.
concept of what they had, you know, here's a map of what we would want. That's what was drawn out. It's connecting Carr to
think
Indian
it's-
Creek and White to Parmalee.
I think us as a park board trying to be part of that and help facilitate that allows the kids and their bikes. I mean, because the skate park wasn't even a skate park anymore. Nobody's. I mean, It was bikes, 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 and
The
bikes.
power we
And the
have as
kids who
maybe
wanted
in
it.
going to township
I met a lot of people that are skating.
is about,
That's
your
all.
discussion of it is about as far as we could
Kids.
input.
Adults.
I just
We tried to get a paved trail around White Park to make it ADA accessible for rollerblades, wheelchairs,
Couldn't even get that.
strollers, and we couldn't get that. You want to develop redesigning roadways with bike trails and paths?
Yeah.
I
I
love
mean,
your
if it's under
enthusiasm.
$800K, I mean, if it's
I
under, if
love
it's
your
under
enthusiasm.
$800,000, which I don't know. I mean,
All right,
maybe
outside
I'm
of
out
that, do you have
west.
any site ideas for this?
Going through that, so you're dealing with road right of ways, utility
There's
right
a
of
massive
ways.
amount
All
involved.
them
in that.
roads all have ditches, so now you gotta fill all those in,
Massive
culvert
amount
them
of
all,
planning
you've got
and
creeks to
zoning.
go over. Huh?
County already has that program under its
Yep.
wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, using the parks and providing the parks
Yeah,
as a
some of those
resource to
signs
make
just do
that plan a
those.
success, I think accommodates the community that we're looking to accommodate.
But I don't think so. I think your BMX bikes, they wanna go up and down hills and they wanna do tricks and they wanna, they don't just wanna ride on the road.
And everybody's concept of, oh, we had a crap skate park and there's no skaters in the community. One, nobody could skate on that skate park. Of course, there's nobody there. Two, it's specifically for skates and it was destroyed all the way back to 2000 when I went there.
Right.
And rode bikes on it. It wasn't designed for that.
It was a
That's what
bike.
this
It was a
new
bike asset, as far as I'm concerned. It was for the
Biking
bike
can be
community.
done from a kid on a balance bike to however old you want to be and riding a bike, and that's what this would suffice to giving an option to.
But yeah,
Not
the
taking
original
away
skate
from
park that
baseball
the
community,
was
but
made
we
out of
can't provide strictly
Not
just
for
fields
bikes.
around our
was not
parks for
for bikes.
baseball.
I mean, I remember growing up and seeing
There's
the
gotta
big
be more
sign on the
options
front
for
said
youth.
no bikes.
Yeah, well, that's
That rusted away and never got replaced.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the idea Gail said of putting it next to the library at that little pocket park is also viable. I mean, if you want to talk about spots.
That's not a terrible idea. That's a good idea.
That's
I just think at the end of the day, it's $800,000.
Yeah,
It's
buy
gonna.
some
It's
kind
never. It's just like
Put that down.
you
for
know,
mine.
talking
Take
about
out-
buying Santa's
Oh, yeah.
sleigh. Like we're not.
It's 800. You say it that way, but you want to develop multi-million-dollar projects.
No,
in
if it's
Park
built together, then I don't. I didn't know the cost. I was more just saying, what's an
Damn.
alternative? What's an alternative that helps kids with their bikes? You know,
I,
who are
I
residents.
love the idea, and I would be
And-
first on board with getting our parks connected through a trail.
If it's more money,
100%.
then shoot
Okay,
that down
so
too.
we've got, at
So-
this point, we've got like five options to choose from when we get around there, okay? We're talking Ansted, but we're talking not the actual park now, but next to the cemetery
The
over
field,
there.
that's
The field
currently
area.
a farm field.
Yep. We're talking car, but only if we can purchase the
So-
land.
yeah. That would either, and
Another
that's
issue
even if
with
that's.
the
I wouldn't
Ansted,
even.
An issue with the Ansted is, I'm pretty sure if we were to put it at Ansted, it would have to go behind the cemetery.
Probably.
Because
Which,
all
if you
the-
don't want it at Parmalee, you don't want it there. It's the
Yeah,
same reason.
because all the
Same
land
reason.
out front, like I don't think we have a lot of road frontage on Lewis Avenue. I'm pretty
It
sure.
would have to come in off Samaria.
Because I know
We'd
Yeah, it
have
has to
put-
come in
it'd
off
have to
Rob
come in
Claire
off-
owns
they'd put a
2
culvert
acres
in,
at
it'd
the
have to come
corner.
in there. Yeah, they'd have to come off.
So, and coming off Samaria, now you're really tucking it behind the houses basically, because we don't have a lot of road
That's-
frontage
that's
there
where-
either, yeah,
That's where it would have to be though.
okay.
That's what we're saying
Make
with
that
that.
park,
Yep.
turn that all to baseball diamonds.
Be a little
You
You
bit.
probably
could at
fit at
some
least
point.
4 of them back there.
So anyway, okay, so we
Comfortably.
got Ansted, we got Bicentennial Park as a possibility, we've got Car if we could produce, if we can get that,
Wait, which is
Strip.
technically
otherwise,
the library one.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Bicentennial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we got Parmalee going back in there, or we got Vienna. So we get 5 to choose from to think about, and maybe at our next meeting, we can decide
Well, we're
which
honestly,
5, we
like-
can only give them 3.
So we can't really
They'll
give them
charge us
Vienna,
more, so.
because we don't have the county saying that
Yeah.
we're.
But we
Township's
might-
not gonna,
Spend
listen, the
this
township's
money.
not gonna spend $800,000 at
But
Vienna.
that's why we're going in with the county, so maybe the township only has to spend 3, and they spend 3.
We're not gonna spend 3. I highly doubt the
$2,000
township's
in
gonna spend 3.
donations or.
With our parks in the condition they're in, I don't.
They're not
I
gonna
would-
put the money
never
into an
would we
outside
wanna
park.
put $300,000
I'm
into
kind of in the same boat.
another, a park we don't own.
Yeah,
You know, I was thinking,
Township's got the
if
money.
we're gonna pay out the engineering and the county is gonna pay for the skate park and the pump track, that would be great, yeah. $16,000 for the engineering, the community, it's still in our community. at
Still
least.
put this in,
Still our
yeah.
community.
Yeah,
All power to it, then we don't have to.
you know, we helped to make sure it got done right, but
And
to go-
I don't think Vienna's an option.
no.
And even
well,
looking
I
at the
think it's
layout
worth
of
talking, you
Yeah.
know, it's worth a
If you get-
conversation with them. Which
It's
I've
worth
got-
having a conversation with the county, yeah. If they have the money and they're willing
Yeah.
to do something
So
like
we'll
that,
see.
but.
We'll see, I called the Parks and Rec department over there and nobody's called me back yet, so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I
Something
just
to
don't know where
explore.
it would go.
But, Todd, and you can back me up or not on this, but I heard that the township has the money, if we can give them a park.
That's what Paul
and-
said.
Yep, that's
Paul
what
said we had the money.
Yep. So,
So until
all you gotta do is come up with a,
Bob actually
Thank you.
tells me that we have the money, that's who I would trust.
that's the
I
difference
spoke
between
with
the
Bob
two.
last week, and I know he was working through budget stuff to try to come up with another $56,000 that they need right now for stuff.
But
So-
cause the way the skate park can be done, it can be done in bits and pieces, that's what he has to say.
Yep.
So
Phase one,
if
phase
the
two.
whole thing's 800,000, so we put in 200,000, whatever, alright, skate park this year.
Build the concrete
Sure,
skate.
yeah, it can
development
be
of
done in
You do the
stages. It's
sidewalks
not-
and everything, and
it's
then
not
you
like
do the
all-
contract the following year, yeah.
Done at once.
It's a phase, right? I mean, look at the community stadium. It took them 22 years to put restrooms in.
Mhm.
We did it.
It's done.
Yeah.
All right, so let's think about that for next time. We can't really decide on anything, but we got those 5 to choose from. I think let's keep it to
Yeah.
those 5 and we'll narrow it down to 3 next time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the budget. Not fun.
Which sheets are we on? 10 and 11? Those couple of ones.
This is it, I didn't pass it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
she
don't know if I
won't
got
go.
enough for everybody. You got one, you here. That's it. That's all I
That's
got.
not what I have?
Nope, none of us did not.
This is the first time I've had to look at it, first chance I've had to look at it, so I don't know anything more than what's on here. It just seems like, I know you guys, Chris, you talked with Bob and you cut down a lot of what we did from last year, a lot of the various, breakdown. You condensed it? Or he just condensed it on his own, I think.
Couple years.
Because-
We did that, no, we did that with Bob. Bob was in our meeting with us like 3 years ago.
Right, but I'm saying it's because we had like 4 pages last year and we're down to 1 page this year of stuff, so we might
I
want
don't
to
think we had
add
4 pages last year. I think it was the same as what it's been.
4 pages.
You
Right
want-
here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The only thing I've gone over with Bob is just moving money in our current budget from accounts that have money in them to accounts that had no money in them. So,
Wasn't Bob gonna come? Wasn't it the whole
no.
deal with this meeting? No?
Bob wouldn't come to this meeting. Bob is,
Yeah, that was the whole point.
I thought that was the whole point of having it.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, Bob won't
So
come.
why are we talking about it?
He won't even come, because we have to have something to give to Bob by the March 8th, and we have to have this done, the CIP, done by Wednesday. So we can sit down and do that tonight. But let's go over the budget line item by line item, I guess.
Have at it.
Thanks. Okay, board fees. This is a boring part, guys, if you want to leave it. Thoroughly understand.
Should we more just go through anything we wanna change?
Honestly, yeah, I guess I just need an explanation.
Well,
If there's
because
What are we
anything-
going
I don't know what we've got, like it says here, they're only giving us 6,800. We used this past year 6,840 for board fees, in other words, per diem. That's not gonna change, that's probably gonna stay the same, we don't have much to do.
Yeah.
Park salary,
That's not gonna change. It's
that's not gonna
stay the same.
change. Wages, okay.
Yeah, we don't have
B&G
anything.
employee
to-
wages full-time, like,
Full-time,
we don't have any,
That's not
it's
gonna
not
change,
us.
we have no control over that. Okay, keep going
Insurance,
down.
FICA,
Seasonal
Like workers' comp,
wages,
office supplies, all, none of
about the
that.
same. Accrued wages.
Yeah, FICA, workers' compensation, all that stuff,
Yep.
that's nothing to do with us.
I'm down to line 44, legal fees professional, we're not gonna change it, just leave it where it's at. That's gonna come down to the contracts and things with
Postage and everything that stays the
Yeah.
same, yeah.
engineering
Yeah.
fees.
Software expense, legal fees,
Engineering fees are
professional.
gonna need to be raised.
Yeah,
Um,
Well, we got it to 10,000 for this year. Is that gonna be enough?
I mean, it's
No.
not enough this year, and we're going
Technically,
to the
it's
assigned park
16
fund to
grand.
pay for everything, we're not gonna have it next year. So,
So you think 20,000? Double it? At least?
I mean,
Well, you could bump that another 16 grand and say this is the entire
It's
thing
hard
is
to say,
approved.
so you wanna go
Engineering.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much does it cost to plan a millage.
A lot. It's not gonna happen for this year.
So
Election, there's no way. It's
No.
already beyond the getting on a ballot.
No, but it'll be in the budget for.
If we were to pay for it, if we were to get Max Smith on it
2025.
now, it could get on this year's ballot still.
Think so?
But I think it would
I
be
don't think
rushed.
it's
I think it would be rushed.
It'd be rushed, it wouldn't be planned. in
But
that.
we're talking
You
next
guys are
year's
gonna
budget.
have to sell it. If you
Yeah.
actually put a mill, you
Yeah.
can't just stick it, cause I'm not.
Again,
voting
this is a
for it.
long term.
No, I'm not voting
Wording
for
has
that.
to be approved by the county.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have
But,
to have little town halls, this is what we're using
But in
it
terms of our
for,
next
but
year, our next fiscal year is probably when
You can't just say,
start planning for it. I mean, start planning it, start putting
I
something
agree.
together, so that way there's a good year of planning and meetings and talking about it and getting people
Okay.
involved with it. Hopefully people from the community getting involved with it.
So what do you want, 20,000, 25? We gotta ask for it. Doesn't mean they'll give it to
30.
us, but
That's
30.
for 30. I mean,
Alright.
it's,
This is what we're doing, it's one of those we need to give
Yeah.
what we're
I mean, look at, we're
Oh,
doing two,
yeah.
we're looking at two projects this year, we're spending nearly 30.
Yeah,
So,
nearly over. Oh, no, you're right.
no.
Okay, and
Nearly.
that's got, he's got a separate one here for car.
But if you count the last payment of the master plan, which ended up in this fiscal year, yeah, we've spent great.
And
we're
he
really
made that
close.
line item strictly for this
For that.
Manikin Smith, the 10.5 engineering fees.
Which one?
The car part.
46.
Yep.
Line item 46.
All right, so do we want to keep that in and
You
ask
might wanna
for
raise that to
more-
like 12, because if we're
Yeah.
gonna have them do it for Parmalee,
Right.
there's gonna be a little more cost to it.
I'd raise it to 13.
13,
Just,
sure.
I mean, you'd rather
Sure.
have extra in there
Yep,
Okay.
than not enough.
now we're getting into the nitty gritty.
Contracted services,
Is that,
they dropped us to 1,000. We had 1,500
No,
this past year. And now it's down to 1,000.
what do you mean?
Look over to
Line
the right, the
47.
requested budget is $1,000.
Well, that's just what he put it at, yeah, but we still gotta fill that in. We're
Okay,
filling in K, right?
he's dropping it that 500 because he's saying paychecks and the video production services are moved to the IT line now. So those expenses are not gonna
Yeah.
be showing in that line
Oh.
item.
Okay, that's fine.
That's why
all right,
he,
okay.
so, yeah.
I mean, if you look at it,
Refuse collection, 8,000 gonna be
I-
enough?
if you look at it, I mean, we
Yeah.
still have, or no, that's what we spent, okay. Yeah, that seems fine, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
we don't really use a lot of contract services
No.
other than that.
All right, so,
Refuse collection,
refuse. Is that gonna be enough?
I mean, yeah, we're right on track. If it's 8,000 for the year and we're down to 3,700, we're a
So-
little over half the year.
yeah.
Obviously, spring it's gonna kick back up and be a
I
little
cut
more
back on our
expensive.
services this
Yeah.
winter.
I think we're right on track.
Okay.
Leave it.
did they raise their rates?
So portable toilets, it says 15,000 there now, guys, but we had only budgeted 10,000. I had to move $5,000 to that account because whoever set up our porta johns this last year, whichever board member called, instead of having them done once a week like they've always been done, they had them do them twice a week, which cost us twice as much.
I don't think any of us did that.
Yeah, because we have to call every year and reset them up in the spring, pull them out.
Twice a week.
So our money was pretty much spent, so I've been pulling out of maintenance general, and that's why I gave you guys our balance sheet as of the end of December. And with the lines, those lines I drew, those are accounts I'm taking money from to make up and stick into these accounts like that one that got put into the negative. So I already moved $5,000, and we have just over $3,000 to get us through. So luckily I talked with Stevens with the Porta John out here, they're not putting one back until we can figure something out because their employees, they won't do it anymore.
It's been trashed too.
Yeah, and it's just gotten worse and worse with the vandalism. So that'll save us some money there by not having Porta Johns here.
Yep.
But honestly, we're probably gonna have to cut back at Porta Johns in some of the parks.
Or we just ask for more money.
Yeah, or just raise it.
Raise it. If you said you had to put 5,000, so 14,000 won't be enough, right?
I'm
You
not
can
gonna
only
be the
take
one.
so much. You can only take so much money. So I'm just saying, at parks like some parks that have two of them, don't like Samaria had two. Samaria doesn't necessarily need two.
White Park, you could probably double, especially with tournaments and everything.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I don't know why we just don't raise the amount, because the cost is probably going up instead of where you're making cuts, because I'm not gonna be the one taking calls for people pissed off that they rented this shelter and there's no porta potty available.
I'm not cutting this one.
I'm not taking the calls.
You're gonna get.
So there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing we can do. Somebody keeps.
But I mean, in
keeps
terms of
going
like
in.
cutting them back or to like, why?
Just ask for more money.
I know.
The costs have gone up. That's why I asked if the refuse went, because my costs went up.
The
Stephen's
plan is
rate-
listen, the plan is to ask for more money. But you need to make cuts where cuts can be made before asking for money. Otherwise, you
100%
look
agree.
dumb because you're just gonna go just spending like a toddler because mommy will give you more. You know, I mean, that's,
Well, it
But if
costs
you
have
can
been up,
justify
we
it,
need it,
though,
we need it.
'cause
You
your
said
costs
you had
went
to
up.
move money.
our cost didn't go up. That's the problem. Our cost didn't go up.
I believe I remember, because I'm pretty sure you're referencing to Chaz upgraded it to twice a week, and I remember because White Park were literally, after like one tournament weekend in like 3 days, every single one of them was overflowing and disgusting. The service needed it, cost went up. Let's ask for more. Clearly with how much.
Well, no, ask for more in this budget, yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying this year, right, we're currently in right now.
Oh, yeah.
To the end of the fiscal year, yeah, you go ask for money, 'cause we're gonna need it.
All right, 20,000
Um,
enough?
No, we don't need 20,000 extra.
Yeah, but if you
we
need to move
need-
it from
so,
somewhere, you can move it from there.
I had to put it to 15 for now. He's got it at 14. I think we leave it at 14, which is 4,000 more than we would normally spend. But it's gotta be watched. When springtime comes around and we put them back in, it's gotta be paid attention to much closer. And like, here doesn't need done twice a week. Samari doesn't need done twice
No.
a week. Wheeler and Anstead don't need done twice a week.
No.
So.
Yeah, I wouldn't have moved them all, and
Yeah,
all of them
so-
twice a week. No, that's
So yeah, our budget on the portable toilets was just blown through. So
All right, so the next one is car,
cars cleaning,
6,000.
it's at 6,000. Bob raised it to there. It was at 4,500. I already moved 1,000 to that account as well because that is also one we were over in.
Okay.
Which the only
So
explanation on that is either
more rentals.
either we need to backlog what they're charging us hours wise and how much it was rented and just verify it.
They did
And then
raise
two,
this last fiscal year. They raised how much they were charging us, not by a substantial amount. I think it was by
which
like
is fair.
$10.
And if it matches up to where the amount of rentals all that matches up, then charge more because we're making that much more in rental revenue.
Yeah.
It's
So
if the cost is going up, that means it's rented that much more.
yeah.
and
So
we need to allocate
either
more.
we're getting charged for cleanings that aren't getting done, or we are renting at twice the speed we were before the year before.
Which I remember last fall,
That's
summer and fall,
probably
this place
what
was
it is, yeah.
constantly rented.
Yeah.
So I don't, that's not a shock that's.
So I think 6,000 is a fair number there.
And you
That's
think
fine.
3,000 is good for Samaria?
Yeah.
The one
let me
right
see.
You need to go up a little more.
No, because we're at 3,600 for there, which that doesn't make sense at all. So that one doesn't make sense because we're not renting half as much as here.
So yeah,
Well,
6
I
and
think
3,
you're I
leave
think you're
them.
running half as much.
I don't think so.
In the summer months, June, July,
Yeah.
August, yeah.
Yeah, but this place has rentals in the, like almost all winter too.
Well,
It just picks up even more in the summer.
it gets some, but not, yeah. Maybe
So-
2 a month, that's all. So what do you think, leave it at 3, or you had to raise it, so
Okay.
maybe
You know,
four-
yeah, no, leave it at 3. So I was looking at the wrong line there. Yeah, we're at 2,288, which is still half of what this place is.
Gotcha. So,
But it's pretty much spent the entirety of our budget for Samaria already. So that's another spot that's gonna need money out of this year's budget somewhere, out of our current year.
So do you wanna raise it?
3,000, just put it at 3,000. Unless we're gonna add parking, I don't see that place renting anymore.
Okay.
So,
Alright, what line item were we to?
Software expense, why do we
That
have
one's
that blacked
blacked out
out?
because I moved up
Revise.
to 750, which is line item 443, which is, I don't know why it got moved up to there, but it's moved up to there.
No, we had two software expense ones on here, I thought.
Well,
Unless
we
he removed
did away
one.
with that line
Okay,
item.
yeah, he removed
It's up
it.
there, and that's for revise for the rental booking
Yep.
program. It's our annual fee. Normal, leave it.
Insurance, has that gone up?
The only thing we really ever get insurance on is the fireworks show, which we spent 10, 20.
That's 1,200's fine, right where you put it's good.
Yep, 1,200 should cover it.
Okay. All right, so fireworks, we got listed for
Do you wanna
25,000.
ask for more?
Did you wanna ask for more?
I,
We all.
Talking with Ace, they said if it's by all means with the cost of freight and everything, like to
The more
try
we-
to
yeah.
substantiate the same level show, 25,000 is what it's gonna take, and that's why we had it there to begin with instead of 20. We didn't move it because we didn't vote on it and didn't approve that, so we stayed at 20 last year. Right now, we just approved 10,000 for the initial deposit. That's for
so
$20,000.
25 should be fine then.
Yeah, that's if we're gonna raise the show, otherwise we only need 20. So that can be another discussion coming up that I can
Right.
relay back to Drew at Ace.
400 for community days. Keep that
Keep
the
that
same?
325's been used. What is 325?
That was my question.
Okay,
For community days, I don't,
What do
I
we
think
spend?
we just take that out.
I'm with you.
There isn't community,
There
days.
isn't.
Delete that
Well,
one.
well, that's the fireworks stuff. That's supposed to be the fireworks stuff and that we,
Yeah, but
I
why
believe
do
we pay our
the
permit
fireworks?
stuff out of that. 'Cause I think we still have permits and stuff we have to buy for the fireworks, don't we? Some cost us.
Do we have
I
anything
thought that
to
was
do
like
with
a
community
promotional,
days
I thought that was like a
fireworks?
promotional cost to try to promote
Something
something.
beyond paying for the fireworks costs us with them.
There's insurance. Police and fire do their own thing.
Just keep it at 400. I mean, it's used.
Okay.
It's a line item that we
I'll
can move.
figure out why. I'll send you guys an email when I do.
Yeah,
Okay,
whatever it
community
is,
had
you guys
asked us
used it.
for 25,000.
If that's what they're asking, keep it at 25.
Keep it at 25.
I didn't plan on changing that.
Legal notes,
Notices.
no notices.
That's probably the 250 we spent on
Yep.
what the yeah.
We haven't spent that at all.
Don't we do that for the fireworks and stuff? Oh, that's
Not legal
publicity, that's
notices.
not.
You know what? That's the community days. That's what we spend on the community days. The fireworks stuff in the paper. Because we get charged for that, I do believe.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Consumers energy, so looks like we're
They're
gonna
all
need.
adjusted properly.
Yeah, that's good.
47%, that's good.
Hold on, actually, no, some of these can probably. No, that's good. They're good where they're at.
58 through 72 is all utilities. Aren't they all just up across the board?
Well, no, the White Park one, not the Diamond Lease one, the other line 61, that can be adjusted to 650. That can be adjusted back some. We only use
7,000?
27% of $1,000 so far over there, cause it's just that pavilion and I think like one or two lights.
So
Yeah, the night,
650?
the
Yeah.
constant.
Yeah, move that to 650, so.
Alright, Bicentennial Park is 400, that's that one little light over there.
We've used 233 so far. I could've swore we shut that power off. We voted on it and
58%.
did it and had it turned off. So we didn't have a power bill there because there's nothing there but a gazebo.
One little light on the gazebo.
Yeah.
They used to use it for tree lighting, that was it. At the library. Okay,
Michigan gas for car park is way down.
It's been a relatively mild winter
Yeah.
lucky.
and less winter bookings here.
So I think we just keep it where it's at for now.
Yeah, because you have an influx.
Same with
also.
Samaria. Yeah, you never know what
You
the
don't
winter's
mess
gonna
with
be.
these.
Telephone, utilities.
Keep it where it's at.
Okay,
Sewer, water use, it should all stay relatively the same.
that's gone up,
Which one?
Yeah, we're actually gonna probably end up going
69%
over.
for, car park.
But it looks like, you know what, no, it's already
sewer?
been
We
adjusted.
adjusted it for
To
800.
800, yep, that's what I'm saying, it's already
Yeah.
But I
adjusted.
put Samaria Park at, 350 though, instead of 300.
Okay. White Park Diamond
Leave
lease.
that one at the same. Formerly,
Park, 300.
are we ever getting drinking fountains? Is that gonna happen?
That's supposed to
That was
happen.
approved, we're supposed to get new ones this,
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it
So
approved.
then the water
So
will get
let's
turned
leave the
back on.
300 then. I mean, we didn't use any water Parmley
well,
this year.
once
but-
we replace all of them that got approved,
Yeah,
it's,
because it'll probably be the
We'll
next
turn 'em
fiscal
on.
year then, so leave that there. Car park water usage is
It's up to 2,000.
at
Yeah, you
2,000. At 2,000, we've used 39% of that. Leave it where it's at because early spring we get quite
yeah,
a few rentals.
if ComEd does their summer days here,
Yep.
it'll go up a bit. Rentals pick up, leave it.
What about
Water.
the other one? White Park
That,
Diamond
that
lease?
can stay where it's at. That's
Okay.
that's on track, I do believe.
Maintenance, we
Maintenance
used
general.
65%.
Well,
So-
that just, it got adjusted to 1,000 because isn't that all being handled by township now?
Right.
Hold on, what do you mean it's being handled by the township now?
C Department 265. Where's Department 265? That's the, we don't even.
They're not itemized, they're not like splitting up the maintenance costs across all the
No,
different
no, so
departments
no, here's a
anymore.
problem with that, our maintenance
Down
general,
here.
so that's how we buy our
It's
mulch, our
split.
rocks.
Hey, he broke it all by building. Maintenance parks, general, equipment, buildings,
The
grounds,
next page.
10,000, 10,000, 15,000, and 5,000. Your new total for that's 40,000.
Where's that at?
Next page.
Next page.
I don't have a next page.
A front page.
Front page.
Front page.
265, it's the bottom, lines 20 through 23.
Oh, yeah. Equipment, buildings, grounds.
So he, instead of having it as maintenance general for 33.5, it's been up to 40, and it's been broken into 4 categories. Parks, general maintenance, equipment maintenance, building maintenance, ground maintenance.
That does us no good, because that's not gonna get us our mulch, that's not gonna get us our rock. That's not gonna work for the parks, the way that's broken up.
Well, talk to Bob.
Well, what's general then? Can we up the general? Can it come out of general?
I mean, pretty much all of that should be in the general, but the thing is, they're taking out of our budget and our department completely. So we make no decisions with getting the mulch, it's just maintenance,
And
just
say, yeah,
the supervisor's office
if
just
the
goes
prices
against
are
what
still
they
the
want.
same from 2 years ago when we did mulch, which we were planning to do this spring,
That's 10,000.
which needs to be on the next board meeting, that was 10,000 we spent, we put 200 yards at White,
And
100 here and 100 at Smith.
We need about
And we needed more.
$4,000 in walking trail rock.
Yep.
The parking lots are probably gonna need at least a couple $1,000s worth of stone, just to keep up with them.
Well, yeah, we did we did the Concierge Road lot at White, and we need to do, the main lot really need to do by the tennis courts, bringing in the actual lot stone and not the dust.
So we need another
Chaos.
line item here, under buildings and grounds, or do we need to move it back here? Under.
I don't understand why it's in buildings and grounds. I really don't. It should be in maintenance general like it's always been. I don't understand the purpose of moving that.
I mean, in any sense, you went from 33.5 as a total to 40,000, so it got increased, it's just listed out different, and so be it, if it chews into another category of it, you gotta shift stuff, then you gotta shift stuff.
Yeah, but 5,000, is that gonna take care of all the mulch that we need? Or do we need to up that general?
Well, the way it looks is it doesn't matter to us. Guys, that's what I'm saying.
Well, it's
Like,
gonna
it
matter,
doesn't-
to- yeah, cause.
No, it's not gonna matter to us at all. We're not buildings and grounds, is what I'm saying.
So it's coming out of their budget, not ours.
It's not
It's
coming,
like I
it's
said,
going to their
maintenance
budget.
is,
I guess
is
we
now
just- yeah.
being,
So, yeah, I don't know.
Roof repair at car, 40,000.
I don't
that's
know.
the
I'd,
separate,
That's a
specific.
I'd put maintenance general,
roofing project. to be
guys, I'd put
removed.
maintenance general
He
back
made it
where
a
it
separate
was.
line item and it's already been, so we don't, there's nothing in it for next year.
Okay, so you wanna put maintenance general back to us?
I mean, I'd put it back where it was. I don't understand. I mean, that's how we gotten signs painted, painted fences.
Well, we can still get it, it's just gonna be under
Mulch.
general.
All
So
those
instead of
items.
$40,000, the way they've got it broken down, we're gonna need more.
Carol,
of
that's
that.
not our budget over there though. We're not buildings
That's
and
not us.
grounds.
Get clarification from Bob.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is why
What he
Bob was
wants
supposed to
do.
come to this meeting
Yes, he
and
was.
Yep.
this is like us just playing a guessing game.
He wants us to come to their meeting when they have their, budget meetings.
When is that? I'd gladly show up.
There's
One's
he
like
sent
at
an
9
email out.
o'clock.
Yeah, he sent an email out with all the whole schedule on it.
Yeah, one's like at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Never received that.
You didn't? I'll
Nope.
send it to you.
All right, equipment rentals, 250. What's the equipment that we rent?
The printer at the hall.
Oh, okay. Property tax, that went up a little bit.
Probably,
Assuming
yeah.
he would know the amount that it's planned to be based on.
Workshops and conferences, still got $500 in there. We don't use a whole lot of that.
Well, if they decide to charge us for the table for the trade fair, that's where it's coming out of, because that's
Yeah.
what's listed.
Yeah.
Or money we can spend for your displays and stuff at the trade fair.
Right. Okay, revenue, there's not much we can do, that's just gotta come in as it comes in,
And you have a pretty good estimation.
yeah, I think so. We'll end at 40, we're at 34 right now. So by June, yeah, probably up to 40, if not more.
Anyway,
We'll see what happens.
So Chris is gonna take it to Bob, or?
Well, I'll probably take it, yeah, I'll probably take it to Bob.
so everything
But we
looks
gotta do
good
the
and
CIP
adjusted other
before you guys
than
leave.
what's going on with that general maintenance.
Okay, parks, what she has on here is no information updated at this time, so they were only gonna ask us for $25,150. That's to go for all of our buildings, Car and Samaria, anything we need done with that, anything for the park maintenance, the new park equipment, that's where it's supposed to come from, the CIP. So in my mind, we should up that, we should ask for more than that, and if we're gonna go ahead with the skate park,
You're gonna have more maintenance.
We're gonna have
You
more
can
to
ask
ask
all
for
you
that.
want, like I said, I mean, you can put it on there.
I know,
Like I
but you
said,
gotta-
they're gonna
you gotta
do
put it
200,000 for across the entire township, that's the parks, the fire departments, the clerks, the treasurers,
Just not-
buildings and grounds, the library, the school over there at Crab and Stearns,
land
the
improvements at the
cemeteries.
township hall, they're asking you for $320,000. Roads, 5-year
they
road
value that
plan, they're
building.
asking for $200,000.
For what?
200,000 for roads, 5-year
Well, I
road
hope
plan.
so. I hope so, I mean, roads are,
So
it's
I'm
millions
saying,
of dollars to do a single mile.
if we're gonna do the skate park, that's 800,000 right there. Yes, it doesn't have to come out this year's budget, but they should start putting
CIP
something
money,
aside.
unless something has changed since the last time I've met with them, you can't touch it for 6 years.
So this is where they're planning ahead.
Yeah, no, 100%, it's like, no, it's,
So we need to throw some money in
but,
there.
yeah, no, 100%, you gotta throw something in there.
So how much is what I'm asking? Do we include the skate park pump track and throw that money in there now?
Well, you
What,
can ask
for each park, we should go through and say what we want, okay? So Ansted,
Well, realistically, I mean,
I got nothing, there's
Everything
nothing
needs
there that
replaced
has to
now.
be replaced.
but,
I mean, we can, out of our budget, we can
Ansted,
take care of
you-
what needs to be done at Ansted.
Yeah.
There's no structure, well, there's no
no,
structure there.
there's the pavilion there,
There's a
that's fairly
pavilion.
new and in really good shape. And you know what,
But to
has a
replace it,
metal
what would
roof
it
on it.
cost?
I don't think it's ever gonna need anything that actually needs replaced, I mean, it'll be painted probably.
Here's the thing, whatever that requires, you put the minimum in that.
Well,
Cause
it's
what I
been-
brought up months ago again, this
Yep.
whole CIP thing where you can't touch the money for 6, are we making like revenue on that during those years? Or
Hopefully.
if they're not,
But-
why put your money away and lock it for 6 years to the government
Plus,
to not be
plus,
able to
it's not
touch? Like,
But no,
In a high
whatever the
inflationary
minimum
environment.
amount is required, that's what you put in there. Everything else,
All right, so what they're talking about here, like the police substation parking lot, it says lifespan is 3 years.
probably for resealing and
Cemeteries,
resurfacing.
reseal the parking lots, lifespan is 10 years. So if we know the lifespan of something, we need to put it in here.
Well, we just did our
Well,
lots last year.
The
Yeah,
posts
lot
on that
last year.
pavilion at Ansted are probably gonna last 20 years.
Okay.
And 20 years from now, they're probably gonna have to do the exact stuff we gotta do the one out here.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Actually, I think those are actually far better than how this was done.
I
I don't think it's done the same way.
I don't think exactly the same, but it's
I
relatively,
think
the
they're all
posts are
on
just, are
brackets.
they?
Yeah.
I have to look, I thought they were concreted in, cause like I know the ones that, like White Park are concreted, Samaria Park is concreted, and I don't think Samaria and them are that much older than Ansted's.
All right, so you think, what, 10,000 a year? Ask them to put in for Anstead to replace,
No.
so 6 years
20
down the
years.
road,
No,
we get,
no, it needs done 20 years from now. So you're talking,
10,000 a year.
yeah, that's a
so
lot.
how much a year?
1,000.
I think
1,000?
not even. I think so.
Not
If they need done in
even,
20 years, guys,
I think it's.
I think they're gonna cost. It's gonna cost probably $10,000 to get done. It's a much smaller pavilion than this one.
Yeah, it is.
You're gonna have inflation. I think $10,000 in 20 years. So I think, what does that make?
$500 a year.
Is it 500? Yeah,
But what about costs going up and inflation?
that's why I just.
I mean,
said.
your guess.
That's why this
your
whole thing
guess
is insane to
This
even
whole
talk
thing
about.
is absolutely
I know.
asinine. Why are we
But
the
it's-
ones deciding?
Just
this?
tell them zero because it's a bad plan and
Because
Because
federal
listen,
Yeah,
when
government.
20 years comes and it needs done.
Zero.
So,
Because
Zero.
the federal government
It costs
requires it,
more
the federal government's on
And when
its
zero
mind,
doesn't
and
work,
it's
then they
like-
can figure out what they
Yeah,
want
I
to put
mean-
into it.
I'd say zero.
Zero. Are we really gonna go through and do this park for park?
yeah, I would go through and do a
Zero.
park. I
Car
gotta tell
park,
them
zero.
something. But you gotta see the building.
Zero. If it doesn't work, then they can figure it out. They've given us no information. Bob refuses to come
This
in and
is
present us
what they're
info.
gonna give us. They're gonna give us
That I guess 25,
25,000.
150 sounds great. Somebody came up with that number by
Hey.
calculating something that they're not explaining to us.
The
Then I
capital
guess that's
improvement
good.
plan isn't Bob. That's the planning commission.
Okay, then the planning commission came up with that number based on something. That's their number. That's
So they're
good.
saying for the entire year, okay, for the 24, 25 year, $50,000.
What they want to do is take 25 grand of our money that we have available to us now and lock it away for the next 6 years. And we want us to put that much away each year, so we have that much less available to do something when something breaks down. Without making interest or anything, because this is a new federal program. Why are we the ones deciding this amount? This is not our department.
You're right.
So I literally will, we have no votes. $0 for every park, they can figure it out. This is not our department.
You're duly elected, but they took your money.
We're not,
Yes.
we have
Buy gold
zero
bars.
background in what they want,
So
what they're
Buy gold
requiring.
bars, wait 5 or
Roof
6
is
years,
20
sell them
years,
back.
right, on
at
car.
least. They're,
Probably in a
Park
better
hall is 20
situation.
years, yes.
right,
All
I mean, they're Bitcoin.
Probably gonna be better off than putting it into this.
Parmalee has a shelter that's not being used.
Yeah, but I would by no means
You want-
advocate putting money
$0?
away.
That shelter, when it needs,
Mm, like-
it's gonna need tore down someday.
Okay, so that's, okay. About that.
Cross the bridge when you come to it.
I mean, it's got a portion of it's a vacant building that's blocked shut.
In Samaria, 20 years for the roof, when we get this new roof on, I'm assuming it'll last 20
Yeah,
years.
Samaria's, I think, coming up for a roof.
Yeah, I'd say Samaria's probably in a 3 to 5 year window on that one.
Yeah.
This
and
one is due and we're
So
doing it.
we're probably, the township's gonna have to figure out money to do it within the next few years, so the capital improvement plan.
Because if you put it
Once
into
it's
this,
done,
you can't touch it for 6
it
years.
just depends on what kind of roof they do. I don't know what kind of roof they're gonna wanna do. I would do a metal roof over them. I mean, the building's gonna be there forever. So, maybe they wait 6 years to do a roof. I don't know, just,
Maybe a hailstorm comes through tomorrow and we get a whole new roof insurance wise, who knows?
Maybe a tornado comes through and takes the building down, and then we don't have to.
Like,
worry
why,
about it.
you wanna play a guessing game?
No, well, that's what this is. I gotta give them something, so, you know, I'm gonna at least try and give them the years, and they can
Asinine thing.
keep that amount. If that's all they wanna give us, that's fine, but.
We did this 2 months ago at our board meeting.
So I think.
Why are we doing this again?
Yeah, we've got nothing else. We've got nothing. Now, White's got some stuff there, playground equipment. I mean, that's what we gotta talk about, playground equipment. They gotta give us money for that $50,000 a year,
they don't have $50,000 a year to give.
25,000 a year. That's not even gonna get one of the parks replaced. So do we ask for more than that? Again, I don't know.
I just, zero.
And let them worry about it.
No,
I would just.
I wouldn't
it's
put
a-
the money away in this program. And when 0 doesn't suffice, then I guess they can figure out whatever the minimum requirement is and they can put that amount in there.
Yeah, it's gonna come back on us, you know it is. They're gonna say,
0.
well, you didn't do what you're supposed to do.
What are they gonna
Yeah, no, I mean, don't tie up money right now. That's bad. I mean, unless you're gonna, you know,
Okay.
get 5%.
Give us some
out of it or
information on
something.
it.
Well, especially
Because
because
we
it's
did
Wednesday.
this, you wanna just revert back to what we gave the ARPA committee in the township already on our wish list? I wish for a pump track and skate park. I wish for the 9 diamonds we have through the system to be all turf graded and done at 40,000 apiece. I want bathrooms at every
Public
park.
comment?
Like,
What are we doing here?
I think it's time for public comment.
Yes, it is. Public comments. Anybody else?
Sure,
Gail, of course she does. Come on, Gail.
Shoot, Gail.
Okay, first off, I see you got new tables. How would that, I like them. Your survey, hopefully at the BBA, at the trade fair there, will have more questions than just one or two. Make use of it. You guys should be drafting a job list per park, per your assignment, whoever your commissioner is. And those people should be in charge. So if Chaz says, I want white dumped twice, then that order comes from him. It should not have to include every single park that you have. Vienna is too remote. The issue with the skate park is the kids are not supervised and they cause trouble. I got them coming out of Tanglewood, right down Temperance Road, they don't care. The cars will pull off to either side to make way. We have the ARPA money that was dedicated and assigned to the sidewalks to nowhere, as we all know. And that's been pulled because they've overspent their ARPA money for the maintenance building that's 2.5 million now, that's going up next to the Township Hall. So the county does have a bike path program. All of it's being resourced way up north through Frenchtown or whatever, but the township did give $10,000 to that program. And so they put signs up on Temperance Road, but it's not necessarily a bike path. It just is a bike way, and Al Pryor's involved in that as he is on all the rest of the committees. And so Concierge was picked by the bike people. Again, here's another group looking for their specialties of what they wanted in order to connect to Whiteford Township. They picked Concierge Road. Makes no sense, but that's what they chose. And they do use Carr Park as a parking center where they take off. And you'll see them, these little men looking like they come from outer space with these crazy helmets and they buzz down the roads. We have a bike path on Lewis Avenue. The intersection at Lewis and Temperance is dangerous, but that's okay. The bike path goes through there. So it's just, so that's been taken care of. And I don't know, they claim they're still going to put these sidewalks up. They want them to come out of Deer Creek all the way up into the DDA district. They want them to Monroe Road and down Monroe Road to get to the DDA district. I don't understand it. That's not the gem. Our parks are the gems. So yeah, this is the whole thing.
Thanks, Gail.
Oh, what do you do with the schools? You didn't mention the monies that we pay the schools in your budget, did you?
25,000 for community ed.
What do they give us?
That's not the schools, that's community ed.
Community ed.
Right, but what do they give back to us other than,
The programs. They use our parks for some of their programs.
For like 2 programs.
Yeah, that's right now.
Used to be 0, so.
25K a year on
Anyone
all
else?
classes.
You got one in the back.
So what's the best way to go about requesting funding for like the separate parks and stuff like that?
So generally, the way Black Ops did, like this field, we had it regraded and reseeded and done because of the drainage issue and how there was a huge fallout on the south field. If it's anything over $1,500, it has to go to Township Hall for approval. After we approve, there has to be 3 bids.
Okay.
So basically, unless we go out and get all this and do it, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Or it does if we push for it, like me and Chaz were doing for years, but everything got denied and we kind of gave up on it.
Okay.
So pretty much you need 3 bids from 3 reputable, hopefully local people. It's presented us, if we approve it, and it sounds like a great project, we'll approve it. It'll go to the township board then for the next township meeting, once it's on that agenda, for them to approve the spending.
Okay. Do we bring it
They would
for
have to come to us first.
during a meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
Or-
Okay.
Well, you'd have to
Obviously-
get it, you'd have to get it to one of us.
It has to be on the agenda.
You have to get it on
Prior
which-
to a
which
meeting,
gets
get
put
it
out
to-
a week before the meeting.
Okay.
So that way, you know, the
It's
public
that
has time to see it.
cycling process.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you're like looking at, like, each park has a liaison, or like White Park is Chaz, Samaria is Chris, like.
But I would
ours
let you
here
know
would be-
now, as of this budget year, we're tapped. Unless the township's gonna give us more money. And the way this budget looks that we're going through for next year, it looks like they're taking the money that we would normally spend on like a project you would bring us, and they're just gonna give it to maintenance and let them spend it how they need to spend it for the parks.
To try to
And we are
upkeep
not gonna
it.
have a say in that anymore.
Okay.
So.
We have less and less say. So,
That's how I'm reading it now. I have to confirm that still.
Yeah, I'm still gonna try.
But yeah, no, 100%. I mean,
That's what we were doing, that's what we've been doing.
Alright, perfect.
but the biggest thing is just to go to meetings and be active and
Yeah.
I mean, and not just ours, the main township board. I mean, at the end of the day, anything over $1,500, they control the money, and pretty much everything in the world costs over $1,500 when it comes to a park.
Yeah.
So,
But if they have a millage, they will control that.
yes.
The parks control it.
That's how the library can control their money, because there's a millage for the library. So they are in control of their budget, they have their own budget. They took the park board's budget from them.
Okay.
Any other comments?
How would you get a park millage started?
So, the township would have to approve us the money to pay an engineer, the engineering company, to plan for a millage, because when you go for a millage, the money has to be planned out before the money's even collected in terms of taxes. It has to be, you know, how much you're gonna need and where is it going? So say we want to get a millage and like this parking lot was a part of it. Okay, we're gonna get this parking lot completely asphalted from here to there, and we're gonna go for a millage, and we get that done. We can't take that money and just go spend it somewhere else. It has to be spent there. The way we're talking about it is potentially going for a millage for all the parks across the board, and that's why you would need an engineering company to plan it, because that's more than a volunteer is gonna have time to do, and I mean, it's a big job.
Yep.
And they'll
Once all
have, the
that's
big thing is they have all the cost
that has to
estimates
go
for
to township,
previous
then
projects
it
they've
goes onto
done
the
and
ballot.
things
It's-
of that nature.
It's a long cycle and process. It would have to be promoted for an election
And then-
I
season.
think anybody that lives in this township would want something like that.
So, yeah,
You would
and
think,
then
right?
You'd be
You would
surprised.
think.
Not being fast.
Like,
Hey,
look, old,
right this- right
old
here, this
people
guy
aren't gonna
don't
vote
want
on that.
Nope.
I mean, I'm just being
Todd-
realistic.
Todd doesn't want one. Todd doesn't
They're
like
not gonna
kids.
vote on it. No, that was Joe Gore who voted. I voted for the kids. Joe
Yeah,
Joe
the parks
Gore
are for the kids.
voted
The
Joe
against
Gore
parks are for the
voted
kids.
against the kids.
The parks are for the kids, man.
And the bad thing is, you go to these other areas, and they have really nice facilities,
Facilities.
really nice parks, really nice baseball fields, really nice pickleball courts.
Hey,
and all
their
these nice
taxes are
things.
real
Check your
nice
tax
too.
bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine,
It's-
you know, if you wanna have nice things, you have to.
There's a reason why there's Pace Center Park and a lot of others in the area.
And like for a millage,
Review
you're gonna have to
taxes.
sell it to the community.
Yes.
That's, if you just stick it on there,
So,
this is what we want, it's gonna fail.
but in terms of the process, it's hiring them to plan it properly and to have good quality presentations for the community to see. We have to approve it, the township has to approve it, and then from there, it would go to the general election.
It can be done, just don't
And
rush
voted
it.
on by the people.
We
That's
just
all.
couldn't get it through this year. We
It
don't
wouldn't be
know.
on this
Did
year.
you
wouldn't
vote
even
for
be
the
a deal.
survey?
The survey.
They've done a survey
We did it.
before,
The
it was
Parks did a survey.
how many people even
31,000 people,
replied.
only 31
3%.
responded.
3%, they got,
Yeah.
the last survey they did, they had 3%
For our 5-year plan
respond.
that
Yeah,
we
it's-
did last year, 3% of the community responded. And that was a good rate, according to Manikin.
According to
It's
Yeah,
twice as much as they'd ever had.
and they actually,
were asking-
they hit it, there was online, they were actually
It was
advertising.
only
and-
online for a day because I found out that I wasn't allowed to do that.
I would like all the parks to be nice, right?
Promote
I
it.
agree.
They keep bringing people into this township, and they flood this township with more people, with all the homes they're building, with all the lower income housing, and it's like, we don't have the facilities to support this township.
The parks haven't had serious money put into them since the late 90s.
Yeah.
That was
Early
in the middle.
2000s. I mean, that's, realistically, they've just been undervalued.
Went down.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
More public comment?
Okay.
We should get the names and addresses. if
Yeah,
you
they're
want to tell-
supposed to.
Tell him your name and address, so you can get it on the minutes. Thank you. Anybody else want to speak? Go
Hi,
ahead, yeah.
Kim Sanders, 1467 Pearl Road. I just want to thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate what we have at White Park. I am on the 3B board, so I know what that's like. On a smaller scale, I think baseball is pretty busy right now, so, but thank you.
So it's registration time currently.
Yes, yes. Is there any way, is that something that can be on public record, that White Park is off the table? We do have some funds that we're moving forward with, field repairs. Is that something that we should be looking at, that we can do, or is that, like,
We've kind of
taking,
put
losing a
pause
field?
with Field 1 for a
Like
while,
with
because it's felt like
Oh,
it's been.
there's nothing
was
that we
not.
can, yeah, this,
we
I mean, at the end of the day, it's.
So
gonna
we're
be done.
okay
At
to
the end of the day,
spend-
there's
The
5
decision's
votes.
made. I mean,
If
that's-
3 of the 5 vote yes, and that's where we decide.
What
that's
happens-
what's going through.
And then it would have to come to the township. board.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's say they all said, no, we don't want it at White Park. It comes to the township board, and then we're like, no, we want it at White Park. The town, we can overrule these guys.
Yeah, so if you really don't want it there,
If you
have
really don't
somebody
want
keep
it,
an eye on it for it to
township
pop up
board
in our
has
meetings
the final
again,
say.
Okay,
and show up and yell at us.
okay, well, no, we never yell, we never yell.
And then, hey, if it passes through us,
I mean, like
go
I
to their
said-
meeting and really yell at them.
Yeah. Like I said, with me having to deal with White Park, with my kids going there, there's no way that skate,
Yeah.
and that park cannot support.
I mean, I can think of a number of things that need to be brought to any of these parks before a skate park. I mean,
Well, like-
concrete driveways,
have
ways for
to
handicapped
think of
people.
everybody, even if it's just, because on the survey that they did, that was the skate
Skate park
park,
actually
pump
was
track.
number 2 at that park.
Skate park and pump track,
We're
the
following
surveys
our
that
guidelines.
were turned in.
I'm
And
talking like, just being able for like handicapped people to be able to get out of their vehicles and there's like no facilities to use the restrooms besides White Park, right? And then there's something.
We do
Uh-uh.
not have handicap accessible.
No.
We were supposed to have
We have restrooms, but that's what I meant, yeah.
yeah, the handicap porta johns.
Yeah.
We did try to
We
get,
were at White Park. We were gonna
There should be
have-
one at White
we
Park.
tried to get a paved trail.
Yeah.
'Cause they were supposed
2
to
years
leave a
back,
handicap one in
we
each park.
pushed, it was a $100,000 project to pave the trail around White Park to have an ADA accessible, and be the first ADA accessible in Monroe County, and the township denied
We
it.
even tried for a grant for that.
We even tried for a grant, the grant
Yeah.
got denied.
Yeah, we tried to get a grant for that.
We spent $1,500 on somebody just to help write a grant and.
They shot it down.
It's,
So,
we've been
All
trying.
right, any other comments from us? Any other comments? Go
Still
ahead.
in,
So it sounds like, name and address please, Jim Sheed, 6054 Deadwood Drive, Toledo. Toledo, sorry. So it sounds like you're against it. Would the rest of you go on record to say you would vote against, one, the skate park going to White Park, and also the removal of a field?
Removal of what? I'm sorry.
A
A baseball diamond.
Oh, a baseball diamond.
I'm not against removing a baseball diamond. At White Park, yeah, I'd rather not remove one from there.
I will say
But
that for White
I
Park,
can't
yeah.
say that removing baseball diamond's gonna come off the table. I mean, it's not.
We might have to at some
Through the
point.
township, yeah.
it sounds like you guys
But-
don't use Samaria. You can't even play a game at Samaria's ball diamond?
Well, as of this year, because that church across the street got purchased, that
Yeah.
property got purchased, and
The old church let the parks use that parking lot.
So, you know, let's see, my
well,
kids,
we can practice there. Sunday.
yeah,
We
because
can
my
work-
kids practice
Yeah.
there,
And practice fields are.
and we also practice at Vienna's field.
Yeah, but that's through the township, or through the county,
Right.
and you gotta.
First
sign
come,
up
first
for-
serve.
Yeah, you gotta sign up early.
Yeah.
If you're not one of the first ones to sign up.
Yeah, I don't-
Village-wise baseball diamonds, I mean, we have a large amount of acreage just up Lewis Avenue here, undeveloped, that we just rent to a farmer just to keep it cleared, and have for over a decade now.
And bring in some revenue.
Yep.
We could double the amount of baseball fields.
No, it doesn't bring in any revenue. It doesn't bring in any revenue.
It sure does, it pays the taxes.
It pays the taxes,
Pays
that's
the
all it
taxes
does.
on
But
it.
if we didn't rent it out, we wouldn't have to pay taxes.
And how many acres?
I can't,
I'm not
I
sure.
I don't know the exact number that's undeveloped, but I know it's over 10.
Do you charge rent for your ball fields?
No. No.
We do all, we do.
Yeah.
They do
That's
field
why I said
maintenance.
some of them do, but some don't.
No, but we pay for the porta johns and have maintenance picks up the trash. So,
Any other comments from the public? Anybody else want to say anything? Thank you. All right.
Nope,
Any
good.
comments, Darren?
motion to adjourn.
No? No?
Second.
No?
Aye.
No?
Uh-uh.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.